Good evening to DeFiChain News on the 1st of February 2023, the news show that provides you with the latest updates on DeFiChain project. If you like the show, then let's go crazy on the like button. It helps the project. Subscribe and click the bell button. And stay until the end because we will discuss the next shows and dates. But before we start with the headlines, I would like to welcome my co-moderator and expert of DeFiChain, Lord Mark. I'm finally back with you. How are you?
Very well. Good to have you back, DC. It was a bit boring here in the
Yeah,
studio last week.
I was really sad that I cannot join. I was on a business trip in Vienna. Was also
I,
fine, but I missed
yeah,
a little bit the
enjoyed
news show.
Austrian beer and schnitzel, and let me here work alone in the dark of the
Correct.
night. Yeah. Oh.
Yes.
No, but
So,
hey, really cool that you're back, and especially that we have so many topics today. I
right.
really need your support here.
The last
Cool.
week was a little bit more action on DeFi more traction. So let's start with the headlines and then we jump into the topics, I would suggest.
Absolutely. Let's do that. Here are the headlines.
Okay, headlines. We start with our main topic. The first on-chain governance voting happened, is passed, finished on DeFiChain. We will report a little bit about the new feature. And with this, we will also explain little bit about the dUSD state and the special DFIP. We have an update from the development side, notable mentions, and the community projects and their updates. Last but not least, the future dates. And I recognized that there are some typing errors. Mark,
Oh, yeah.
we should
Mentions,
go
for
back.
example.
Mention.
Thanks for pointing
so,
out. Okay,
so
nobody
you
saw
should
it. So
switch the
where?
scene back to.
Yeah, publish. Okay, here we go. Cool.
Here we go. So let us start with the first topic, on-chain governance. I like this feature; it's really great. Also with DeFi Scan, you can directly follow the progress. Tell us a little bit about this new, long-awaited feature.
Yeah, like you say, absolutely. It was a long-awaited feature, and we are also excited that it's finally live because now voting as a masternode becomes so much easier. So we started the on-chain governance process of voting with a special DFIP, and this was like on the 26th of January the whole thing came online, and the voting ended on the 31st of January, so yesterday, and a little how can I say, in advance, it was a very positive outcome for the DFIP. I think most people who took time and went on DeFi Scan saw that there's a new on-chain governance tab, and then you can go on the page and you can actually click on all the projects, and then you see the voting status and how much time it's gonna take until it's gonna be finished. And it's really interactive. And what I really like about the new system is that it's so much more interactive. You just see people doing stuff earlier. I don't know if they want to try it out now, because in the last voting rounds we saw nobody was voting until the very end.
Mm.
Maybe it's like people are really excited to click, but it's really cool to see. So like I said, the DFIP was voted heavily. I think you said in the German one, it was the highest turnout on votes. We had like 2000 over 2,600 votes. 2,574 voted yes, and 100 said no. And I don't know, did we have neutral votes this time?
I think there were neutral votes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, I
some
can't
of
even
them,
remember.
but not the main, very small
Not
part.
okay, very small proportion. So why do people vote maybe with neutral? If they vote neutral, actually they also get included like in the distribution of the benefits, because the fees, 50% of the fees of all these proposals get distributed amongst the voting masternodes. So if you don't want to say yes or no, you say neutral, and then you still participate actually, and you get your DFI. Funny enough, 2,500 DFI were for grab for the voting masternodes, and we had about 2,500 yes votes. And a couple of no votes, so nearly everybody, every masternode gets a DFI for participating in the in the voting. So thanks a lot for all the masternodes who took the time to vote. I think that's a really great turnout. I would love to see more and more voting. I mean, we've got over, how many have we got? 14 or 17,000 already?
Or between 14 and 15.
Yeah, something like this. So, I mean, but yeah, we're on the right way. I think we're going to see more and more participation. So that's great. So how do you add a proposal now? There are actually two really easy ways. You go on defiscan.live/governance/create. Very easy, just click through, it's easy to find. And then you have a web interface and you have 3 simple steps how you can upload the discussion, like on GitHub or on Reddit, and you put your address inside. So it's very clear. There's a very nice blog post who explains how that works. But there's a new feature, new functionality that we just figured out on the Lite wallet. So you can also just pick up your handy, your mobile phone, and then send a CFP or DFIP from or post it from your mobile phone at least, right? Yeah, don't forget to pay the fees. And then you are ready to rock and roll. So how do you vote on a proposal? Voting is done via command line interface, CLI on the full wallet. Still, because master knows how to operate the command line interface normally, and you just need on your node ID, and then you're good to go. We have 4 CFPs already lined up for the voting that is gonna end on the 23rd of February. And I think if you wanna participate in the cycle, you have to upload it, if I remember correctly, until the 9th of February. And then there's 2 weeks voting. So 9 plus 14 is 23rd. Maybe a hint, if you plan to do a project, the voting cycle is gonna become longer and longer. Then at the final stage, they're gonna take about 45 plus 45 days, so nearly 90 days, what is 3 months. So if you wanna quickly smuggle a new CFP DFIP in, you can still do it, but it would be also cool if you put it up for discussion, that you can get feedback from the community and also explain what you are doing. That's really a mandatory link. So much about on-chain governments. Happy that it's live.
Also, thanks for the explanation. And you mentioned before the special DFIP was the start of it. With this, we come to our lovely dUSD. So what happened there?
So why was the special DFIP so special? Follow Kügi's fantastic explanations on DeFiChain Demystified video. But maybe in short, we wanted to get this out as quick as possible. Even this was not an emergency. There was no need to act quickly, but we thought it really fits in our program at the moment really well. We wanted to get that live as quick as possible, and that's why it was special. Special DFIPs are a little bit more expensive. This one cost 5,000 DFI. That's maybe not so much at the moment. I mean, it's still $2,500, but in the future it can become very pricey. Why is it expensive? That not everybody comes up with the clever idea to do a special DFI. And we also had to have a higher turnout, a higher quorum for the vote. I think we needed at least 10% of all the nodes voting and a 2/3 majority, and we achieved that. So why was this done? So the special DFIP was aiming to redistribute rewards that actually the burn bot is burning, and 50% should be redistributed as negative interest rates in USD loans. Also in detail explained by Kügi very well. But the super nice and juicy outcome is that we have at the moment a 66.28%, 66.68% to be precise, negative interest rate in vaults who mint dUSD loans. Means you earn by minting dUSD token at the moment. So this is really nice. And it's an important thing that we attract more capital, more DFI in loans, or in the vaults. If more DFI go in the loans and they go in the vaults, they get tied up, and more dUSD get minted. That's actually very, very good for the whole process. So now let's take a step back. dUSD. A lot was happening in anticipation of all these changes because people thought that this DFIP most likely gonna pass. There was very positive sentiment of the community. We saw an increase from 60 cents to 89 cents, so nearly back to $1. And then it happened. Somebody sold about 2 million USD. No, sorry. No. There was a burn about $2 million DUSD, but
the burn bot
burned 2 million USD. But we saw a couple of people also selling USD, of course, what kind of put pressure on the dUSD price. But I think you mentioned it very well. This is something what we're gonna see on a regular basis now. People are gonna wait that the dUSD price goes up. They maybe bought very cheap, then they're gonna sell, even if there's a stabilization fee in place. And then we might even go up in a premium and people are gonna sell again. So we're gonna see kind of a wave movement of the dUSD price, and hopefully it stabilizes around $1. What we did not see is a panic, because the last time we saw like people started freaking out. Holy shit, we were close to the peg and then somebody sold and the price dropped and more people sold and everybody started freaking out. We are not seeing that. We are also not seeing extreme FOMO on the other side. I think people are behaving very well, if you can say it like that. No, I think people just understand that certain price movements on our stablecoin are quite normal at the moment, and I think we're on a good streak. DC, what do you think? How do you feel
I
about
think
it?
so, yeah. I feel very good. You mentioned before the sellings. Yeah, we need these sellings. I My hope was that we also see a little bit earlier. Yeah, the way up was more or less straight, but then it happened, and that's good. So we strengthen our system. We are removing more dUSD also with the selling. Yeah, part of the DEX fee is burned. And hopefully we are now moving to a stable system. Maybe tell us what would be a good or best case scenario, how it develops now. A step to $1, removing the fee in one day. Is this the best case?
No, actually, it would be nice if we go into a slight premium. Then people would kind of sell off a little bit. The price would get suppressed again, but the burn gets stimulated more and more. So I think we need this working together of price movement, burn, bot, and then we're gonna stabilize sooner or later around that price, right?
Correct. So you mentioned
And
premium. We need a DEX fee reduction over a longer period. Yeah, not this
the
step. Yeah,
crazy
we
one that
saw
we
it.
had the last time. How much did we
Yeah,
drop it the last time? It was
I
like,
think 15%. So
yeah,
from
yeah,
30 to
yeah,
15. So it
yeah.
was halved, and that was the signal for someone selling a big amount of DUSD. This will not happen. This case, we need one day above $1 for DUSD, at least in one pool, to reduce the fee of 0.5% for this day. So it even if we want to go from 30 to 0, we need
That's 60
60
days,
days.
right? Yeah.
It's a very smooth transition from high DEX fee to low. That's an intentional way, and hopefully we see a lot of people selling DUSD with a kind of profit, because we have premium phase. Everyone selling DUSD with a premium must buy back later, because if they mint it
They have to return it
via
one day,
Watson,
right? It's a loan in
they
some
have
way.
to,
Yeah.
and then we can use the interest rate to put a slightly pressure on them. Here is a discount, buy back this cheap DUSD, and they help then to arbitrage the DUSD.
Exactly. And if people say, yeah, but if people gonna sell again, right? I think very important what you said, because the stabilization fee kind of crawls down and down and down. So different people are gonna sell at different times. There's not gonna be this massive drop. Everybody jumps in, sells. Everybody has a different opinion when it's the right price. So we will see selling, and this is normal, and we want selling in some way because it burns, right?
Yep.
And but yeah, it's gonna be over time. Interesting. Hey,
Will
DC,
now
another thing
last weeks.
that these
Yeah.
looped vaults are not possible anymore. I think a couple of big looped vaults have been kind of unlooped as well, right? Did you follow
But
the story? There were a couple of tweets about
no,
that. There was quite a
no,
big, massive
not
vault
followed.
that was like unlooped, right? At some
I
time.
saw it. Yeah, with 2 million DUSD or something like that. I don't know the exact number. A big number of DUSD
I
were
don't
looped, and
hear you at the moment,
this
DC.
vault was
Something is wrong
closed.
with your
What? Not working?
DC.
Can you
Is
hear me?
your
Yes,
microphone okay?
should be. Maybe you're. headphones are not working. Can
Ah,
you hear me again?
now I hear
Okay,
you
your
again.
headphones.
My AirPods, I think, gave up on me. Even they say 50% full. Okay, sorry. My apologies. My bad. See, always something can go wrong. So back
Nothing.
to the big ones. Okay, sorry. I saw you talking. I thought, oh, it's so quiet. Yes, interesting. So back to the looped vault. Maybe you answered the question already.
Yeah, it was answered already nearly. It was closed just short before the special DFIP, so
Ah,
just
okay,
short
okay.
before the interest rate increased. And that was a little bit surprising for the one or other.
Okay.
There are different interpretations you can now think of. Maybe that one have not followed the special DFIP and what's behind. Maybe he saw a bigger chance more potential in DeFi. So part of the dUSD were swapped to to DeFi, and
Actually, it
maybe
would have been
that
good to
one
stay
want
in
to
that
hold.
vault, right? In that situation.
Yeah, but if DeFi now goes up
Yeah.
as a factor
Okay.
2, your profit is higher than the negative interest rate.
Right.
So
Right. Yeah.
different
Good.
interpretations.
Good point.
Okay, maybe to close this topic, two questions I also want to answer. Sometimes coming from the community, or I answered already, is the DEX fee. It's not decreased with a big step, 0.5% for each day above $1. And the second one is the burden bot. It will burn dUSD until we reach $95 cent
95 cents. Yeah.
for these for dUSD after fee. So the pull ratio must be above $1. And then it's just a kind of pause. The DFI from the block rewards are accumulated again for the next discount phase.
Okay, cool. Thanks for the addition. Okay, fantastic. Good. After little
Then
technical difficulties, so notable mentions.
tell
Actually,
us.
my show here. Okay, absolutely. Okay, Julian made a really nice video talking about why DeFiChain could do 25 to 30x. Check it out. We're gonna link it up. Interesting one. He made his calculation behind it, so it's not like just hopium. It's like really talking about utility of DFI. And then, yeah, you mentioned it before. We made a DeFiChain demystified video where we explain, or QG actually explains, what is so special about a special DFIP. And if you have time, it's about 45 minutes, but it's really, really well explained. There are so many implications on this whole topic. So the topic is getting bigger and bigger. You can see it here already in the news show. It's a really long topic. If you want to understand all these moving parts, it's understandable, but it needs quite some time. Okay, so much about notable mentions this year.
Thanks for the update. Then we come to the development side. So what is happening behind the scenes? What are the next things launched already? Maybe you can summarize a little bit.
Cool. Yeah, we listed all the things that are actually, funny enough, all stuff that Birthday Research is doing. So first of all, like we mentioned before already, the Lite wallet has a couple of new features, and these features are all around the on-chain governance. So you can submit a proposal, and you can also the ability to create a DFIP, but then you also can update your submission and include the Reddit links and all the stuff. So it's all on-chain governance related stuff. Then the bridge that they've been talking about, the ERC20 bridge that you can get on-chain with ERC20 tokens, is gonna go live in February. So sooner or later, so earlier February, what they said, but they didn't really want to tell us date. So check it out, it's gonna be live soon. And then there was a mention that the DeFi chain that is planned for Q1 2023 is on track. So that's all great news. So there's a lot coming, and I think DeFi chain is gonna trump them all. This is gonna be, it's gonna be a massive one. Really looking forward to that.
Me too. That will be interesting. And DeFi chain is also a good playground for the community. With this, we come to our favorite topic. The community is also active without DeFi chain. What happened?
Fantastic segue into the new topic. So InTheMarket made a new podcast. Paddy interviewed Bene, DeFiChain Epic, the guy who is also having a CFP. So actually both have a CFP online. Paddy for his podcast, and Bene for his the big proposal where they're gonna cooperate with the German organization, MMA fighting organization. So that's really exciting. Check these two proposals out. Then the next German Twitter space is on Thursday, 8 p.m. Central European time. There's a link, a Twitter link for ShoeDC is gonna be so nice to
Later.
put that later in the show notes. Locke reported in that the yield machine got extended. Now you can actually put DFI on there and you can generate yield based on the negative interest rate. So I think they're gonna do it, put it in a vault and then take a dUSD loan out, and then the dUSD loan should generate around 50% APY. So that's at least their price target or their yield target. So let's see how that plays out over time, depending how many dUSD loans gonna be created. But that's interesting, check that out. Then we've got the German DeFiChain community calendar. So there is actually a DeFiChain calendar, English one, that at the moment me and DC are kind of administrating, but we are thinking about how we can do this in the future, because there's so much more than that is in the calendar. Actually, they had a completely different approach. They have a Twitter account and a Telegram account where you can see actually everything that is happening in the German community. So yeah, maybe sooner or later we can maybe unite these two ideas. And then, yeah, the Travelist team that I'm also part of, we're gonna have a beta test starting on the testnet in February. If you wanna participate, subscribe to the waiting list on the launch, on the landing page, and we're gonna plan to launch a new landing page also this week that looks much nicer than the old one. Texts are updated and all kind of jazz. And then we recorded with Santiago a video where we talk a little bit about Travelers, what's the plan and what's going to come. Yeah, and that's gonna air most likely also tomorrow. So a lot happening here. So much about the community projects this year.
Great updates. You mentioned before you are airing a new video regarding Jeffless. What are we airing here on the channel next week?
Fantastic. Yeah, like always, how do you say, oldest but goldest. So the news show, we really have to check how many news shows we've done already. It's quite a lot.
Dear.
The last time there were the 100th or the 50th news show we missed, so we are sooner gonna be the 100th news show. We have to check that out then, right?
This year should be the 100th
absolutely
episode.
I've got no clue when we have to count. And then there's gonna be finally a new Tech Talk. I'm really looking forward to that on the 9th of February. You're gonna do that with Yusin. You planned it when you were in Germany and met him. This is gonna be a big one because I think it's gonna be DeFi MetaChain heavy, and we really need a lot of good inputs there, that we finally all really understand what we can do with DeFi MetaChain. There's a lot of information out there, but I've got a little bit of feeling it's a little bit before the D tokens launched. There was a lot of talk, but nobody really knew how it works. And then when the D token came online, and it was so clear, right? So I think we're gonna have the same moment. Yeah, and like mentioned, we're gonna do the DeFiChain Mystified video in the German version, because we see a lot of people don't want to watch the English videos still. They're kind of resistant. So we're gonna do a short version of this Special DFIP video on Friday.
Cool. Then we are at the end of the official part, this news show episode. Thanks, Mark, for explaining all the stuff, what's happening on DeFiChain. We are looking forward to next week. Pretty sure the one or other thing will happen here. Thank you for joining. Give us a like for the show. And if you are watching live, stay until a short break. We have time to answer the one or other question, I would say.
Yeah, let's see.
That's this.
If you got some.
Have a great time.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. So there we are with flickering question marks. Let's see who is here. Daniel is here. Christian Peterson is here. No news show without Christian, yeah? Christian, we have to talk.
Yes.
Then Roger Medina is here. Roger Medina is also here quite often. Good morning, guys. good morning, good evening. So interesting. Maybe really on the other side of the globe here. Good morning, guys. Do future swaps help to get rid of algo DUSD? I know you either create or burn USD, but there's a 5% difference. Does the 5% get burned? Good question. I couldn't answer it. DC, that's one for you.
For the moment, yes, the 5% is burned or away. So if you just measure in a kind of capital, you're putting on $100 as DUC, for example, you are getting back $95 as D tokens, and the 5% is removed. If you have a longer view on the things, the price can change of the D token. So if the price increase from maybe the $95 to $200 and you do the future swap back, you can also generate more. But just for the instant time of the swap, we are removing capital. Yeah, that's the idea of the 5%, to avoid that users are using future swaps directly for trading. There is a cost side with the 5%.
Okay, awesome. Thanks for the explanations. Yeah, that's it for the questions today. Last chance. 5, 4, 3,
Last
2,
call.
1. No question. Then Onera Thomas says hello from Vienna. Cool that you join us on the English one. Leading by example here, because like we said, a lot of the German-speaking community is kind of hesitant to join us on the English videos. It's really crazy how many more likes we've got, or how many more viewers we've got on the German. But you said is crypto bear market at the moment, so most people are absent. We have in general less views, right, at the moment.
In general, less views. The German community is a little bit stronger. Even the channel of the English one is bigger. Yeah, that's a little bit strange. So we have more subscribers on the English channel, but less viewers. So the more active community is currently on the German side. But overall,
the hardcore community from the very beginning, I've got the feeling, right? They are there all the time. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, but
DC, that's it.
No
questions.
Will change in future.
We go to bed. Or
you go to bed. I will bring my kids to bed.
Okay, I go to bed at the same time as your kids. Okay, cool. Old people and young people do the same thing at the same time. Great. Hey, DC, great to have you back. See you next week.
Yep.
And
thanks. See you soon.
Have a good
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.